you to Unity of Richmond. Our service leader today is our secretary of our board, Edie Bolden.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, let's start with our affirmation. Okay, let's say it together. Unity of Richmond is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us. And with God as our source, we accomplish mighty works together. Yes. And for the daily word today, divine life flows through me. Sometimes, when life seems filled with obligations and routine, I may feel as though I am merely existing, moving from one task to the next without sparkle or energy. Today, I remind myself I am alive, vitally, radiantly, joyfully alive. My life is what I choose to make it. Through my positive attitude and understanding myself as a spiritual being, I realize there's so much more to life than the things I must attend to. I will continue to maintain my daily life and respond to the things that need my attention. But now I will meet life with energy and the verve of divine life, which is flowing through me and animating me no matter what I am doing. I affirm I am a divine being, wondrously and magnificently alive. You want to repeat that with me? I am a divine being, wondrously and magnificently alive. Amen. Now he is God, not of the dead, but of the living. For him, all of them are alive. Luke 20:38.
So we'll stand and sing this together. I am that I am, as a tree to this now moment. Here I am that I am, as a tree to this now moment. Here I am to be the voice and to be the heart which heaven is made known on earth. To be the voice and to be the heart which heaven is made known on earth. Sing it again. Yeah, is now more. Here I am. I dream to this now moment. Be the voice and to be the heart which heaven is made known on earth. To be the voice, to be the heart to which heaven is made known on earth. I am that I am. I
Good morning. Let's take this moment for prayer. Take a couple deep breaths and remember, dear God, we come before you seeking peace in our communities. In a world that's sometimes marked by division and discord, we yearn for unity, understanding, and harmony among neighbors. Grant us the strength to build bridges of connection, to listen with infinite empathy, and to work together for the greatest good. God of peace, when my mind is free of the cares of the world, calm our anxiety and soothe our fears. Give us peace and give me peace in my heart and mind and in my soul. And we have nothing to fear because you are with us and we are safe. And so it is. Now it's time for the Metro Richmond prayer. We pray for the governments and governing bodies of metropolitan Richmond, for the Board of Supervisors of Henrico County, the county administrators, and all
county employees.
Okay, so now it's time for the many opportunities. We have something new about ukulele lessons. That's new, okay. Join us for a 6-week course led by Lynn Rafferty back there. Whether you have played or you just want to brush up or this is new, come on down. It's going to be Thursdays, starting this Thursday, 1:30 p.m., August 1st, and there are some fees for the class. And exciting, next week, we have the Bon Voyage potluck for Eric Lamberson. So join us. It's going to be next week after the service. You know, Eric's moving to Panama. Please bring your favorite dish and heartfelt wishes, and we want to send him off like he has been here for us. Then we also have the next opportunity is the drum circle. That's Friday, August 9th. It's from 7 p.m. to 8:30. We want to feel the energy, bring a drum or other rhythm instruments, and come on, we're going to have a drum circle. That's Friday, August the 9th at 7. Now, also next, we have a big gala dinner coming up. Join Carol Lapierre on the lake. That's Saturday, August the 10th. And the time is starting at 5 o'clock. She has exciting things on the menu, seafood lasagna, vegetarian lasagna. But what we want you to do is make sure you can sign up in the gathering space, and we appreciate if you would go ahead and pay so you can secure our place. There's only room for 14 spaces, so this will go quickly. And have anything else? Yes, I have another announcement. I don't know if anybody knows, this is part of one of our outreach initiatives, and we work with Cardinal Elementary School, and there are flyers out in a gathering space. So we were working on joining the joy of reading, and what we do, we want people to come and volunteer to read to a kindergarten or first grade class. We also need reading buddies. We need mentors, and you will receive training. And if you want to know more about how you can help, the flyer is out there. We have several people in the congregation now that do read with the children, and we also work with Unitarian Church as well. So we're looking forward to training in August, and we want to see more volunteers. Thank you.
Good morning, beloveds. Growing up, it was just me and my mom against the world, and all my sympathies were with her when I was a little girl. I've seen both of my parents play out the hands that they were dealt, and as each year goes by, I learn more about how my father must have felt. I just want you to understand that I know what all the fighting was for. And I just want you to understand that I'm not angry anymore. No, I'm not angry anymore. She taught me how to wage a cold war with quiet charm, but I just want to walk through my life unarmed and accept and just get by like my father learned to do. But without all the acceptance and getting by that got my father through. And I just want you to understand that I know what all the fighting was for. And I just want you to understand that I'm not angry anymore. No, I'm not angry anymore. Not angry anymore. Night falls like people in the love. We generate our own light to compensate for the lack of light from above. And every time we fight, a cold wind blows our way. But we can learn, like the trees, how to bend, how to sway and stay. I think I understand what all this fighting is for. But I just want you to understand that I'm not angry anymore. I'm not angry anymore. 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 Thank you.
Song there, huh? Wow. Well, before I go into the sermon, I want to make some acknowledgments and actually a little reminder too. Today we have a Green Team meeting after the service, so Green Team volunteers who signed up, we're going to meet downstairs in the conference room, while Course of Miracles is going to meet in the celebration hall. So I want to acknowledge our volunteer team of the month, this month, which is our Caritas team, who since I started here and coming out of the pandemic, started to organize and provide a meal once a month, sometimes twice a month, for the women's shelter at Caritas. And so if you have been, have served on that team, will you please stand? Like brought a meal, been involved with Caritas, which is the third Friday of the month. Not everyone is here, but I do know that some are here, but I do have a gift for you to acknowledge and thank you for your service. Lynn and Tom are also part of this. So this says, thank you for being amazing. It's a pen. Thank you for being amazing. And they're affirmation pens. And we also have some seeds of gratitude. Virginia Wildlife native flowers seeds inside the bag. So they're native flowers and some prayer cards. So would you pass those? Yeah, Kara. Thank you. And Kara is one of those volunteers, as well as her father, Mike Shelton, who has headed this up for years. And so thank you, Mike. Yes, yes. Next week, we will have a new volunteer group of the month, which we're going to feature because we have an exciting event coming up in October that our prosperity planning team has been meeting the last couple of months. And so mark your calendars for October 5th for our big community fall equinox festival that's going to be across the street. We have lots of people involved. We have a call for volunteers for various aspects of this event. Some of the volunteers are here today as well, and we'll be here next week because next week we're going to have our marketing material. So it is ready because the Carillon Association, by the way, is having an international night out. It's either across the street here or on the other side at Rutgers Field, the other side of Blanton House, next Tuesday, the 5th of August. Or is it the 6th of August? Whatever that Tuesday is the Carillon International Night Out. There's entertainment, music, networking. And so they've invited us to attend that. And so it'll be a great opportunity for us to get to know the neighborhood here and plug into the neighborhood because this is where we are. All right, so mark those things down, and next week we'll have our volunteer list and ways that you can serve and be a part of that event in October. Let's see. I also want to call your prayer intentions to hold prayer for Debbie Williams, as she's going to be putting her longtime horse friend Blue, having to release him to the Rainbow Bridge, and made that hard decision. And so we just hold her in prayer and light and comfort. And please do just reach out to her in support. And also, again, continuing on, just any support that you want to drop by and visit Elizabeth Kuhn, who's in hospice. Contact myself or Lynn if you'd like to do that. And I know some have already been doing that, and I thank you. I thank our compassionate care team who's doing that wonderful work. All right, so the lesson today is it's all perception. It's all perception. And I've been thinking about this a lot because I've been taking the convention introduced to sign up for a class called Quantum Living. And it's the art and practice of living as if no one and nothing is against you. It's based on the foundational teachings of Gary Simmons, the eye of the storm. And the eye of the storm is embracing conflict and creating peace. So the practice itself is a 21-day practice in which each day we do a worksheet of looking at anything in the day or at any time that has pushed our buttons, and how we think about the others, the situation, or think about ourselves, and what are the underlying shadow beliefs that are behind that, and then bringing ourselves back to that I am presence, that is the center of any storm, that is the calm, that is the peace, that is our wholeness. So today I want to talk about and share some helpful understanding about how our brains work and how it determines our perception, and how our perception determines our worldview, and how we can move from misperception to wholeness or come back to center in life's storms. And that's what's called transformation, isn't it? We transform the shadow and we bring ourselves into wholeness and in touch with spirit and with the I am presence that moves in and through us. So for inner and outer peace, it's all about perception, and it's a Both problem and solution lie in our consciousness. As our third unity principle states, we create our experience by what we think and feel and believe. And so much of our perception is in the unconscious. We look through, everybody do this, okay? Real tight donut hole over your eyes, okay? So we can only see what is through this donut hole. We don't see what's on the outside. We don't see the whole picture. We only see part of it. So it's like looking through, our perception is like looking through a narrow picture, a narrow, or just one little piece of the whole puzzle, right? And so I want to share with you this internal work that you can do, as well as some external or active things to live the truth we know that we can do to create a more peaceful world inside and outside. First of all, we all have to do our personal work and use that and do that internal practice of identifying and shifting inner conflict, and before taking any outer action. So here's some scientific information about the brain and how our perception it works. So you know why it's so important to have these skills. Are you aware that our brain receives 4 billion bits of information every second? Okay, it's a computer, okay? And yet, we only process 2,000 bits in any second to make sense of all this input. And how the actual arena of those 2,000 bits have to do with body, you know, is your body comfort, your emotions, the environment, is it hot, is it cold? It has to do with time. So the few pieces that we pay attention to become our total reality, our total experience, our belief system. And the brain will fill in the blanks with thoughts, judgments, and beliefs. And then it seeks only that which supports those theories, thoughts, judgments, and beliefs, and ignores other information. So when we eliminate that which contradicts our belief, then we have a misinformed context because it doesn't include the whole. So then we have these neural pathways that become our norm, our default operating system, and we just repeat patterns over and over. The brain will repeat those patterns, our unconscious. Now, science has proven that we can change those neural pathways, and we can change our patterns, and it takes at least 21 days of consistent practice. So that's why in the class I'm taking, there's 21 days of worksheets for us to do to practice this practice. And there was a study, or, you know, the astronauts, when they were training to go into space and to the moon, they were put in situations that could simulate no gravity, right? So they had the astronauts wear glasses that put everything upside down. Okay? So they had to wear these glasses every day, and when they did, it took 21 days, you know, for that, for the brain would actually reverse the picture, and they saw things right side up, as they truly are. So that practice of the brain can refigure, you see. So they would wear these glasses, they see things upside down, and the more they wore the glasses, the more the brain adjusted, and they saw things right side up. Now, in this study, they did some for 16 days, and then they stopped, took the glasses off. So they had already developed, seen things right. Then when they took the glasses off for some days or two, and they resumed wearing them, it was right back to where it was. The brain did not see things right side up. And so then that's how they determined that it would take 21 consecutive days for that pattern to correct itself and the new neural pathways to be made. So another example of how powerful our perception is is that there is a video on YouTube, and I'm not showing the video because have to have a special streaming license to show videos in a service and stream online. So I'm just going to tell you about it. You can look it up. And the video is an awareness exercise. And there's two teams playing basketball. One team has a black uniform. The other team has a white uniform. It says, follow the white team and see how many passes they make. Count how many passes they make. So you watch the video and you're watching how many passes, and you're counting. And at the end it says there's this many passes were made. But did you see the moonwalking bear walking across the court? No? Well, watch again. So I watched it again and like, oh, there it is. So we are so focused on one thing or one strong belief. We are closed to seeing the whole picture, closed to any other solutions. So you can find that on YouTube, and even though I've spoiled it for you, I watched it again, and as long as I followed those passes, I didn't see the moonwalking bear. But then when I took my eyes off and watched it again, yes, I did see it. So it's a great exercise. It's a great demonstration of how powerful our perception is and how we can miss things when we're stuck in that rut of our thinking. So we can change the bits of information, though, that we pay attention to. But we don't change it from the outside. We change where we're looking from. It's, again, all about perception. Now, I know that many of you, from your own experience in your family, you probably have family members or siblings, or, that if you go back to one event in your life that's seen through the eyes of the people who were there, everybody has a different perspective on what happened, right? Everybody's idea, everybody's memory, everybody's perspective of what happened is different because we all have a different perspective, different, where we're standing in the situation. So the conclusion from this, and this is our first slide of the day, is that all perception is misperception. All perception is incomplete. All perception is mitigated by our beliefs, our values, and our emotions. It's mitigated by it. So this explains our interpersonal conflict and a lot about our political climate, about wars in the world, because it's all perceptions clashing with each other and no understanding, no opening, to listen and understand each other. So we each only have that little piece of the picture. Again, our perception is influenced by our psychological, mental, and emotional states. And that's the meaning that we make out of any given situation. What are you making this mean? What are you making this mean? So there were studies done by some college universities that were examining what does influence our perceptions. And college students who are in psych trying to get extra credit, so they always first in line to volunteer for some of these experiments. And anyway, so they took a group of participants and they took them to a hill, and one group they put heavy backpacks on. The other group were just, as is. And they asked each group, how steep do you think this hill is? The ones with the heavy backpacks overestimated the steepness of the hill. Next, they took another group. They're on the top of the hill. They have a group of students standing on skateboards, and the others are standing on the ground. How much of an incline or steepness do you think this hill is? Well, the ones on the skateboard, they did overestimate more, the steepness that the other group did. And then the last study they did was they just played happy music and they asked them the question, the group. And then they played sad music and they asked them the question. So the happy music, you know, gave them a more positive look on the ease of the hill, and the sad music, you know, made it seem daunting. So think about that when you're listening to your music selections too. Okay. So it all depends on our the vantage point from which we're looking, because we're in the hole, we're in the donut, we are in the picture. We don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are in our belief and as in our consciousness. So what's the remedy to all this, to shifting our perceptions and working with our moods and states? Well, it is that we have the capacity to look to our higher consciousness. We have spiritual practices, and we can connect with the heart where our compassion lies. We can connect with spirit. We can go back and connect with that wholeness, that I am at the center of the storm. Now, in the book, The Eye of the Storm, it describes life experience, our human experience, like a hurricane, which has all these bands of weather all around, wind and rain swirling, and the eye in the center is calm. It's still, just like the ocean at the top and the surface. You have all these waves, but you go down deeper, it's still and calm. So that is the I am nature. That is the I am, your spiritual I am, and you can call it your wholeness, your Christ nature, Buddha nature. So the idea in this book is that storms happen all the time, and often we find ourselves in the swirl of the storm rather than in the center. We get in the swirl of the storm of our emotions and our judgments instead of our center of wholeness. And I don't know about you, but I would prefer to see things from that witness place, that center of wholeness, and respond rather than react and contribute more conflict. Which our first unity principle is that God is present everywhere and in the universe. The three omnis, omnipresence, omniscient, omnipotent. Our perspective in unity is that if that is our true belief, then how can we see an enemy? How can we see that nothing and no one is against me or you? So from that wholeness place, everything can be seen as an opportunity for healing, deeper understanding, and growth. And the problem is that in our human consciousness, we move along that continuum. Nothing and no one is against me. Everything and everyone is against me. Okay, so we're moving along this continuum. So we need the tools. We need the tools to bring us back to our first principle. So the end of that, or that continuum past the middle, is what we perceive as an enemy. And the true enemy is not outside of us. It is in our consciousness or our thinking. So the book, Eye of the Storm, brings down, kind of breaks it down to the enemies as the four winds of conflict. And those four winds of conflict are separation, misperception, competition, and defensiveness. Separation, I am, there's those others, I'm, or I'm all alone. Misperception, seeing things incorrectly. Competition, that we all have to compete for, our good in the world against each other. And the fourth is defensiveness. So I can't see that you could just have one of those without having all the others. I think they all seem to go hand in hand, but we're talking about perception today. So let's look at how to address the enemy according to Jesus. He said, love our enemies. He said, bless those who persecute you, do good to them, and pray for our enemies. And that prayer is to turn to spirit, to turn to God, to our thoughts to spirit. And the instruction that he gave us helps us bridge that gap, to turn an enemy into a friend. Now, this is useful in helping us shift from those outer bands of the storms in life to the center. Luke 6:27-36 is the scripture. New International Version says, but to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. If someone slaps you on one cheek, turn to them the other also. If someone takes your coat, do not withhold your shirt from them. Give to everyone who asks you, and if anyone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do to you. Wow. That's a tough one to live up to, isn't it? And it doesn't, we look at this more deeply. It doesn't mean be a doormat, right? And let people harm you. It doesn't mean that. So let's look at this. Jesus' instructions for both inner and outer conflict. 1, he said to love. To love is to embrace, to accept, and to value. So if something is troubling you, embrace the opportunity for healing. Consider that this is the ingredient or the opportunity that you need to see what you need to return to your wholeness or to live in your center. And that just know that it's not about the person or the situation. That our world is our mirror. You are seeing it as you are. The second, he said, was to bless, which is to endow good upon. To bless the person or situation for the person or situation has the capacity to be the source of good in your life, to use it for good. And then I'm reminded of the story of Joseph and his 11 brothers who threw him in, left him for dead, and then he was sold as a slave. They decided to do that instead of kill him completely. But anyway, so after that whole story unfolds, and Joseph is in a great leadership position, and he is revered, and his brothers have to come to him for help. He says, my brothers meant it for harm, but God meant it for good. Something like that. Yeah. So bless the person. See how you can use the situation for good. Even when you discover something that's within yourself, may not be involving someone else, but within yourself. Bless yourself. Be compassionate. Okay, the third one is to do good, is to do the right thing. To do good is to do the right thing. Your purpose in relationship is to find a greater sense of who you are, a sense of your wholeness and your worth, of who you came to be. In who do you need to be in order to feel whole and worthy? Well, we need to drop defensiveness and competition and see that just like you, the other person or the other may be acting out of their own shadow, just like we do from time to time. To do good might be to do what is you're guided to do, to have closure, to release the situation, or to release the weight of the pain or the burden or the wound. 4, to pray. Give ourselves to God, our thoughts to God or spirit. To pray is to set yourself and the other situation or the other person free. That's where forgiveness comes in too. Go to your heart, embrace your wholeness, your goodness, and your higher self. Now let's look at some practical ways to stay centered in wholeness during conflict. A year or so back, I gave a talk on the power of story. and shared with you how I had gone to the St. Paul's Episcopal Church, where multiple ministers were meeting the founder of StoryCorps, and they were bringing One Small Step to Virginia, the program that's on NPR that brings people together of opposite views and values and brings them into meaningful conversation. So I had gone to that, and then just recently I saw an invitation on Facebook to sign up for One Small Step. I didn't know why they hadn't contacted me because I gave them my contact and I hadn't heard anything back. But so I was on Facebook and I signed up because I would love to have that experience. I'm going to share with you along the way as I have that, as I do it, what the outcome is, and I'll keep you posted. Anyway, that program is in Richmond, and I told you about in that one that I attended, they shared a video of a conversation between the Muslim woman in Austin, Texas, and the MAGA guy that they were at a political rally, and it was a Democratic rally, and there were Republican protesters or whatever, and the mass were becoming hateful against the MAGA guy, and they tried to set his hat on fire. They were harassing him. They were going to set his hat on fire. And this Muslim woman stood up for him and said, "No, stop." And anyway, that made national attention, and so they were able to contact these two and to bring them into this beautiful conversation with hearing each other's experience and background and coming to a respect and a mutual really love and understanding of each other and where they were coming from. Now, it doesn't mean anybody's going to change their point of view, but it means that we can have a shared understanding and a shared understanding of our humanity and some compassion. So there was an article written by Peter Coleman, professor of psychology and education at Columbia University, and it's called "The Way Out of Toxic Polarization." Coleman talks about the impact of the pandemic, the political polarization, racial injustice, and the attack on the Capitol. And he talked about, in the article, he talks about how our differences, the media, the internet, political leaders, and political structures all contribute to the divide. They all contribute to the divide. Now, I did want to say something, and I hadn't decided, so I'll come back to it, but some may say, I don't do politics. We shouldn't give attention and energy to what is going on out there and only focus on inside where our peace can be found. And I do respect that perspective. And I also want to add that I learned something from this class, that often we don't involve ourselves because we're in avoidance or we're so in the analytical mind that we're out of touch with our feelings. Of course, we could be trying to protect ourselves too. Right? This is what I learned while doing my homework in this quantum living class. I didn't think, there's not very much that pushes my buttons. I didn't know if I would have something every day to write about. Well, I had plenty to write about, and once I opened to the whole picture of this process, it didn't even have to be something that day. It could be something 2 weeks ago, a month ago that I could do the work on. But anyway, yes, so I learned just a deeper insight into my own self, and that I was protecting myself from not, like I can say things don't bother me, but yet if I really am honest with myself, oh yeah, I think maybe that might bother me. What's that? And so to really admit that and to look at that. So anyway, that's why I'm talking about this, because I know some people don't want us to talk about things that are negative, or we want to be uplifted in church, yes. And but we do want to know how to have more peace and how to be more peaceful and be centered. So anyway, this one small step brings people together for these meaningful conversations without political debate. And, it also, I think it can teach something about how to converse with each other, because I think a lot of us just don't know how to converse with people who are not like us, that we don't agree with. So what he says, 4 simple steps, which we have on the way out of toxic polarization. One is clarify your intentions, like set your intention with yourself. Are you thinking you're going to change their mind in this conversation or change their point of view? Or are you just wanting to know and listen and have an understanding? Because, as he says, you're not likely going to change someone else's deeply held belief in a single encounter. Some will change, some will not. Second, he says, start local. Get involved in your local communities that are trustworthy for working with peacemaking. Look locally first. Some examples I can think of, and I'm sure you can think of others: the Peace Education Center, the Alliance for Unitive Justice, Coming Together Virginia, to name a few. And the third one, I love this, he says, complicate your life. In that, if you're feeling disdainful of others and you see them as dead wrong, then it's time to seek out people of differing views in your life, differing views from yourself. To have conversations, open, meaningful conversations. Don't seek them out to have an argument, So, and the fourth one, which he says is this is it. Take a hike. And this is literal. He says, go do something physical. It will open your mind. Also, when you're doing something together with other people outdoors, with someone ideologically different from you, you can build cooperation and understanding as you get to know each other. I think about that when I'm at the beach, at the ocean. There's all these people, and I'm thinking all these people have different viewpoints, different political backgrounds, but we're all together here enjoying the earth and the being with family, the positive ions in the air. There's something about that we all have in common, and it's pretty much for the most part peaceful. I don't see too many altercations at the at the beach when I go for vacation. Or if I go with a group and I go kayaking or hiking, who knows what's going to be in that, with that group, what side of the political arena they are. But we're together having an experience of mutual enjoyment and maybe, getting to know each other and hear people's and understand people's better. So I like that advice. Complicate your life and do something different. Get to know different people that aren't like you. So, in conclusion, by doing our personal awareness work and coming to an emotional and spiritual maturity, we can be the peace that the world needs. Do the inner work of love, bless, do good, pray, and outer. Love, bless, do good, pray. Love, bless, do good, pray. In case we didn't have any, but we do have slides today. We were not sure we were going to, but the basic 4 things that Jesus said to do. So we can do that because for both enemies on the inside and the outside. And we can make those new neural pathways and expand consciousness to seeing and being and doing from our wholeness, from our Christ nature, from our spirit, instead of from that shadow. That is limited perception. So today, right now, I just want to say, and you can say it with me if you like, I choose to be peace at the center of life's storms. Again, I choose to be peace at the center of life's storms. I choose to stand in my wholeness I choose to stand in my wholeness. So when we can rewrite, as we're doing in my class, the narrative of what happened and looking at that, what did I make this mean? But if we can rewrite it and see it differently, then we can see the situation. It may not change the circumstance, but it changes how we look at it. And if we can change that, then we can see from that whole picture, the whole big picture, and come to peace. And so it is. Amen. Oh. Thank you. So we'll prepare for meditation now. And I know that as we prepare, just let the sound of the bowl resonate. Take some deep breaths, become aware. Of your feet, say, going into the earth and grounding into the center of the earth, but your feet are like the roots of a tree. And as you feel that anchoredness in the roots of the tree and the stability also, as you breathe, imagine yourself breathing right into your heart. Into your heart space. Become aware of your hands. Feel your first finger and your thumbs touching. Notice the sensation of temperature or smoothness or dryness. Just notice the body's connection with itself. And as you breathe into your heart space, think of something or someone that you appreciate. Something or someone that you appreciate. And just let that appreciation radiate from the center of your heart outward. And in that space of the heart, let these words speak to you. An old Celtic prayer, a blessing. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the shining stars. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth. May peace fill your soul. Let peace make you whole. Perhaps there's someone in your life you'd like to have this message felt. It could be yourself, or it could be someone else that you love, someone else you care about. So we say these words again: deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the shining stars. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth. May peace fill your soul. And let peace make you whole. And breathe in and breathe out this radiance from within your heart. Imagine all the world with the earth in the middle of us. So we radiate this peace, this love, this healing light to our planet, to all sentient beings, to all humans, animals. So we rest in that now. Knowing that above and below, to the left and to the right, is our wholeness, our spirit, the I am. Now, as we come to the close of this time together, take some more deep and relaxing and releasing breaths. We're feeling that vigor and vim and that the daily word talked about of aliveness. Divine life here now. We give thanks. As we come to a close now, we're going to sing a song together. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. Yes. Would you like to stand? Here we go. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. You may be seated.
Yeah. We got two board members here. Now it's time for our prosperity blessing. Can we say this together? Divine love flows from me as a spirit of generosity. I know that as I give generously, I enter the flow of abundance. Every good possibility comes into view as I swim in the stream of infinite good. I am the harmony of divine love and overflowing. And so it is.
Look at us break our bonds in this kitchen. Look at us rallying all our defenses. Look at us waging war in our bedrooms. Look at us jumping ship in our dialogues. There is no difference in what we're doing in here that doesn't show up. As figures and thumbs out there, so why spend all our time pressing our bandages when we've the ultimate? The key to the cause right here are underneath. Look at us form our cliques in our sandbox. Look at us micro kids with both our hearts blocked. Look at us turn away from all the rough spots. Look at dictatorship on our own blocks. There is no difference in what we're doing in here that doesn't show. And figures sometimes out there, so I spend all our time dressing our bandages when we've the ultimate. The key to the cause right here are underneath. How I've spun my wheels with carts before my horse. When shine on the outside springs from the root. Spotlight on these seeds of slippery reason. This core born into form starts in our living room. Get up and dance if you want. There's a difference in what we're doing in here that doesn't show. As figures and thumbs out there, so why spend all our time dressing our bandages when we've the ultimate? The key to the cause right here are underneath. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks again for the beautiful music. Okay, so together let's give thanks. We give thanks for the gifts that will support our mission of creating a spiritually awakened world. Do we have any youth today? Two little ones? Okay, and how about we want to remind you, prayer chaplains are here to pray with you. Thank you. Here they're coming forward. Remember, your prayers are confidential, and they will be here to pray with you. And now we want to thank everyone that was here today. We want to thank the music team, especially Reverend Valorie. Glad to have you back. Thank you so much. And the team back there, thank you. Natasha, you're always doing everything. Thank you so much, Natasha. And we want to thank everybody out there that's watching online. Okay. Yes. And thank everybody that's here, because we couldn't do it without you. Thanks. Now, time for the prayer of protection. Let's say it together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, nothing that was meant to be. With God as creator, and we all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous love. If you take each moment and live each moment in peace, peace, love.